Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Diana Romanov, certified family law specialist practicing family law in the Bay Area, California. Today is the part 2 of most common asked questions in divorce. And question number 1, how do I choose a divorce attorney? If I were a client, what I would consider is, first of all, social presence. I would look at reviews. I would ask people around who I know, hey, who was your divorce attorney? What did you like about him or her? What did you not like? Make a list of priorities. For me, priority number 1 is responsiveness, competence, which is family law specialist, which is the highest degree of family law you can get in this field, which I have. Ideally, cultural understanding, because I am not from here. I would prefer someone who understands the background and philosophy in some cultures. Also, important factor, the fee structure. For example, I like to get my invoices weekly, not monthly. I would hate to have a client of mine receive an invoice for $20,000 once a month. I rather send it weekly and the client can see exactly what happens. Also, important skill is to BBC client in every single communication, so the client is absolutely at every single stage of the divorce process is involved. So those questions I would ask when interviewing a lawyer. Once I would find them first, their state bar number, meaning they're legitimate attorney, they have family law specialist degree, and they have a really good social presence. And then when I would go into interview, I would ask these questions. Question number 2, can we use the same attorney or do we need separate attorneys? No, we cannot use the same attorneys for one reason: inherent conflict of interest. For some reason, it doesn't apply for estate planning. So if you want to create an estate planning, that's fine. However, in divorce, people have inherently different interests. The attorney can only represent one person at a time. Now, there is a difference between an attorney who represents a party and a mediator who is also an attorney. But that's not representation. A mediator is not someone who represents anyone. The mediator is a neutral facilitator who prepares the paperwork, helps to reach an agreement, but does not represent anyone. Very important. Question number 3, what are the grounds for divorce in my state? In California, you don't need to have a ground for divorce. It's a no-fault state, which means we don't get along, called irreconcilable differences. That's it. Just check off that box. Question number 4, how does mediation work in a divorce? Mediation is the best tool when people want to A, save money, reach agreements fast, and be divorced quickly. And it works like this. Both of you pick a mediator, pay the mediator, interview, pay, and then reach agreements with mediator and follow the steps, which could be and would be exchanging financial disclosures, reaching agreement about spousal support, attorney's fees, division of assets, custody, visitation. So the mediator will help to reach these agreements, put the paperwork in place, file it, and that's the best way to do it. And it's literally very cost effective compared to each party hires their own attorney. However, the mediator will always say, contact your independent counsel because before you sign, I need to advise you that I'm not able to give you legal advice. Question number 5, do I have to go to court to get divorce? No, you don't. If you have an uncontested divorce, you don't need to go to court. In my prior example with a mediator, you don't. The only time you need to go to court and speak up in front of the judge or through your lawyer or yourself if you don't reach an agreement and the court needs to make a decision. Even then, in San Francisco and Marin, there's a tentative ruling proceeding where the court decides day before, and if you agree on the tentative ruling decision, then you also don't need to appear, assuming the other side doesn't object to that ruling as well. Question number 6. Can I get a divorce if spouse doesn't want one? Yes. Thank God, California is no-fault state, and you don't need an approval by your spouse to get your divorce done. Question number 7. What are my rights if my spouse committed adultery? Again, California as a no-fault state, your rights are not affected if your spouse committed adultery The only time it matters if your spouse committed an adultery was a prostitute using community property funds to pay for it, then of course you're entitled to reimbursement of half of the money he or she spent. Or if that spouse was going on vacation with his or her lover, buying Tiffany bracelets for zillions of dollars, then of course you're entitled to reimbursement of the money you would otherwise never have approved to spend. Question number 8. What happens if we reconcile and want to cancel the divorce? You file a dismissal form with the court. Both of you would need to sign it, file it, and then the court will approve it, and then the divorce is canceled. Question number 9. How can I protect my assets before filing for divorce? I guess this question implies that your assets are yours, but as I mentioned in my description in my other video, part 1, is that community property assets are assets that are accumulated from the date of marriage until the date of separation. What is there to protect? Meaning, if you hide it, it will come out. You will still have to pay half of what is accumulated. What's your separate property? You need to keep a really good track of everything that you had before the date of marriage and after the date of separation. So the best way to protect your assets is to keep really good track of separate property assets so that you can prove that are your assets, separate property assets. Question number 10. What is the role of a guardian ad litem in a divorce case? Guardian ad litem is a representative for the children, or in other words, it could be called a minor's counsel, when both parents are in their stuff, to say it mildly, and they cannot figure out what the best for the children is, then the court will appoint minor's counsel, who will then represent to the court what that lawyer thinks is the best for the children. I hope that was helpful. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you in my next consultation. Bye!